to another episode of Marriage Evolves podcast. We are so excited because we have some special guests with us today. We are in the process right now of walking through our 10-week program with this amazing couple, Ryan and Sarah. And so we're just going to have a regular conversation with them, and we just want you guys to join us. So come on in and join us, okay? Let's go.
Let's go.
Go ahead, Rod.
You guys just came back from a wonderful trip. And I know we were talking earlier about, did you get some time in with each other? Yeah. You do so much for others and you do so much pouring out. What is the importance that I know going through this 10-week program that Marriage Evolves highlights about having that husband and wife time? What is that importance for you?
That was something we really struggled with before, was really creating that time and that space together, especially with 3 kids and work involved and, careers and kids' school and all the things that come with life. And that was one of the, I think for us has been one of the biggest takeaways is setting aside that time together and how valuable and how important it is and how much it really changes, your relationship and how much you grow together with that one-on-one time. And it really started out with you guys just assigning homework, even though the homework was...
you mean the assignments that you guys forgot to do one time? Yeah.
Ryan.
Yes. Those assignments? Ooh. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
She got you.
I wasn't going to bring it up. Right?
I didn't forget homework.
We're going to keep you covered.
I'm sorry, bro. It's all good. It's all love. It's the love.
Yeah, but those homework assignments really... it gave us a reason to come together, and gave us that focus point. And there were so many times doing the homework where we would end up doing something else or talking about something else. And that intimate one-on-one time would really, we wouldn't even really be talking about homework anymore. But no, not at all. We really enjoyed that time, and even now, we really cherish it and value it. And we've learned how to, on our own, make sure that we're creating that space and spending that time together.
I think the one-on-one time really pushed me out of my comfort zone because it got me to communicate, and I wasn't a big communicator back then, and now, having that intimate time and doing the homework too, I talk now.
He talks a lot.
I talk a lot now.
Wow.
And like I said, it got me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So it's real nice. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
That is one area that I have found that many couples don't really dive deep in is their level of communication with one another. Sometimes individuals just have those surface conversations and don't really dig deep. How has that really helped you guys in digging deep in your conversations more so than being surfacey?
I feel like for us, we were that surface conversationalist for our whole marriage, really. Wow. Even with kids, our conversations, we just never hit that really deep level of conversation. And even just in the few weeks that we, walking through this Marriage Evolves, our conversations, I don't feel like there's much that we haven't shared. I mean, I don't even think there's an area where I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that, or I don't want to bring that up. We really put everything out on the table and have conversations about things that we probably should have had conversations about 9-10 years ago. But it's so great to have the conversations now and to share. And to his point, he didn't really communicate before. So I feel like I'm learning new things about him, and it's had a new level of intimacy between us that we haven't experienced before. And it's really enriched our marriage and our walk together.
They have better intimacy now.
Yeah. Open door.
Yeah.
Ryan, you said something that I can relate with because that was the same thing that I struggled with in the early years of our marriage. I was not a communicator as well. And I married a woman who came from a family that loves to talk.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to learn how to come out of myself.
Yeah.
Now, one aspect of it, though, for me, and I don't know if you share the same thing, once you started talking, how did that make you feel as a man in the relationship?
Honestly, it felt like weight's been lifted off my shoulders because it opened me up to be more vulnerable with my wife. You know, walls were broken down for sure.
Wow.
And I was able to express myself and share my emotions with her and express my feelings as we got to talk more and more and deeper conversations. You know, before, you know, if we had those tough conversations, I was gone. I was
Shut down.
I was shut down, and those walls would come up, and I'd stay quiet the entire time. But now it's like, man, I want to get this off my chest. Let's have this conversation now. You know, we attack it together. You know, it's not so much I'm gonna deal with my problems, and she's gonna deal with her problems. No, it's we come together now, and we talk about it. And we share those feelings and emotions together. So.
I like what you said because it also, let me kind of get my thoughts together here. It sounds to me as if you guys have created a safer place for one another.
Yes.
A safe place where you can be vulnerable, where you can say, okay, I like to use this term, just lay out the draws, lay it all out, and explain to one another what's really going on. Well, I shouldn't have said that?
No, you good.
Okay. So
That's the first time I heard you lay that one out like that.
It was the face.
That's a new one. I gotta add that one to the list.
so and having a safe place. Now that you're in a safer place, how does that impact your level of intimacy? Because sometimes when you don't have a safe place, intimacy, whether it is just coming together, having communications, a walk in the park or whatever, it's not just having sex, but it's more to it than that. How do you feel now that you're in a safer place?
I think we feel a lot closer in ways that we haven't. Like, it's almost like we've connected and bonded more in ways that we didn't before. And I think with the communication, not only are we communicating more, but I think we're listening to each other more. And I think that was a huge disconnect for us, was because sometimes if he would shut down, I would talk louder, but I wouldn't give him the space to communicate where I could listen to understand what it was that he would try to say. Or if I felt like I wasn't being heard, sometimes I would shut down because I felt like he wasn't able, we just weren't able to hear each other, you know, and really listen to figure out what it was the other person was saying. And I think that's, again, where a lot of that new intimacy comes in, you know, it's more of like an emotional and like a mental connection. And it's really deepened everything for us, really.
I think when we started sharing and being a little more intimate, there was a lot more trust there.
Yeah.
You know,
that's key.
Yeah.
When we do have those tough conversations, you know, before it was like, if I tell her something, I feel like she's going to run off and go tell other people about it. You know, but now having that trust and, you know, trusting that she's not going to, you know, go out and start blurting, you know, my past or whatever.
Yeah.
Or sharing like how I broke down or something, you know, like there's a lot of trust there now. I can start sharing that stuff with her.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's gotten stronger.
That was something that we had to learn. Well, I had to learn, was not being so quick to share what was going on with us with everybody, because everybody did not know how to handle us in the stage that we was in. Even our family members, even some, they didn't even know a lot of the things that we were going through, because we had an understanding that, okay, certain things stays here with us. They don't need to know everything that was going on. But that is something that we had to build, that trust with one another to be able to do that. And I love that. Because I'm a stickler. We are now, everybody don't need to know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the right ones that need to be in your circle to know. Because the information that they give you is going to either hurt you or build you
So true.
in your relationship.
You know, I want to circle back around real quick. Both of you highlighted, and especially you, Ryan, about that trust. And that area of trust is something that, as we, sit down with different couples, we always are bringing up team concept.
Yeah.
And one thing that you see in any team, no matter what sport dynamic it is, they gel together when they learn to trust one another. When they trust that you're going to do your assignment, you trust that you're going to be in your post where you need to be, so that we can meet the objective and get the goal. Meet the objective and win this game. Get to the end, to the championship. And we only do that together.
Yeah.
As a team. You have your role, I have my role. But we have to trust each other that you're going to do your portion, I'm going to do my portion.
Yeah.
On our good days and our bad days. And that's having also where you say that vulnerability, because trust comes with vulnerability.
Yeah.
I got to be vulnerable enough and transparent enough to know that I'm going to lay myself on the line and trust you, even though you might hurt me. I hope you don't. But I'm going to trust you through this process if we do it together.
Yeah. And you know what? I have to bring this up because you were the one that we had to do this exercise with. Because you had to learn how to trust him.
Yeah.
So how was that exercise for you? Being blinded, not knowing where to go, what to do.
And some
which
big
is,
old shoes.
yes, because we had you put on his shoes.
Yes.
How was that?
It was a little nerve-wracking at first, just because I didn't know. I mean, we've never done anything like that before. I mean, we've done different exercises, but I think doing something that you physically have to walk through was very eye-opening to me, and allowing him to guide me, and really listening to like his voice, and focusing on him, right? And him telling me where to go and getting me there safely. It was good. It definitely put things into a different perspective for me, to learn how to listen to him and to learn how to let him lead.
Ooh, say
and
that
to
again.
follow that.
Say that again.
To listen to him and to let him lead.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
Give me some on that one.
Inside that, though, there's something that you said in the beginning. Not taking away from the power of trusting him in that exercise and listening to his voice, but you said you also had to walk in his shoes. Which was more challenging, coming out of yourself to listen to his voice and trusting him, or having to walk in his shoes?
Probably having to listen to him and let him lead.
Wow.
Because I always grew up very strong within myself. Like, I can lead myself, and I can do things myself, and I don't need anybody to tell me what to do, you know? And you just kind of think that that's the natural way things are supposed to happen. But that's not the way that God designed it, you know? And I want to give him the space and the place to lead us as a man. And sometimes I feel like I unintentionally took that away.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Girl, you just said a whole mouthful right there.
I did.
Where I believe it's going to help a lot of women.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we as women try to take on our husband's role.
Yeah.
And we're out of place.
Yeah.
And for you to recognize that's not something that God gave us to do,
Right.
and to let him do,
Yeah.
and you recognize it,
Yeah.
oh, that's breakthrough.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
And when you don't recognize it, we always got that reel, so we'll pull you back in. We let you go so
Yeah.
far, but we'll pull
Yeah.
you back in.
Yeah.
Let
But
you
it,
know.
it gave me a lot of peace, almost. Like, I feel like women, we try to carry so much.
Yes.
And we're not supposed to, and you don't realize how much it hurts, how much it affects me, but it affects our marriage, and then it affects your husband because you're not letting him step into that role. And when I realized, I was like, oh, that's not my place to do that. You know, it almost was like it gave me peace, you
Yes.
know, because I'm like, here I am trying to do things that it's
Girl,
not mine
tell me
to
about
do.
Carrying stuff that you weren't built to carry.
No.
huh?
Yes,
Yes.
it's too heavy.
It's too heavy.
Too much. Now, what is one of the greatest things that has been helpfulness to you and your husband thus far? Because you guys are still going through the process
Yeah.
with us. But what so far has stood out to you guys the most that has helped?
I would say the one-on-one times and being very intimate with each other. Like you said, like with the homework and stuff, that we set aside some time to where she and I can sit there and, you know, we did the looking at each other's eyes and doing the homework together, like we're speaking to each other instead of looking straight and not making that eye contact and being, you know, real intimate with it. You know, that I feel like that's really helped us build a stronger connection.
Wow.
Just having that alone time together, you know, and having that one-on-one and the intimate time.
I think the homework just
huge.
overall created a space for us to communicate more, to just have that one-on-one, to like close the door, not have the kids around. But the homework just, I think overall, like created so much, because it's the intimacy, it's the communication, it's the connection, it's even the assignments, you know, like they were very intentional, you know, and it really walked us through exactly what it was that we needed to walk through at that time. So
I want to tap into the one we just did,
Which one was that?
the exercise. How did you guys handle the financial exercises?
Budgeting.
Yes, that one.
well, our bill has changed. One of
Oh.
them, we've already
Wow.
changed
Get
one
out.
of them.
Get out.
As soon as we got back from vacay, I was like, okay, we're gonna start making moves.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's not easy talking about finances.
No.
It's a
It's
a big it's a hot button.
Yes.
But it's worth it, you know. And it felt really good, like for us to kind of sit down and kind of put it all on the table. And there's still things that we're working through
Oh yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and we'll continue to work through
Yes.
forever. But just making little changes, I think
Yeah.
we felt really good the other day.
And when we talk about budgeting, that was my area where I was having a hard time trusting her and allowing her to kind of be a part of that, right? But you know, God put her in my life for a reason, and man, I kind of gave it all up to her and allowed her to, you know, see everything that I am bringing in, that we're spending on, and now we tackle our budget together.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Team.
Wonderful.
That team.
Wonderful.
Team Arcaina.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
That. I love that. You know, because at the end of the day, as we always keep talking about that team portion, she's not there. You're not there to hurt each other.
Yeah.
You're there to help
So
each
true.
other, and that's the way we got to look at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think about it from a selfish perspective initially until we get a different viewpoint, and then we say, wait a minute, you know what? I'm married to this person. I see them in their brightness and their ugliness, and then I smell them in their wonderfulness and their nastiness. Why can't I trust them with that?
You said
You
all
know,
that.
well, I'm just saying. Hey, folks, y'all know how we talk when we get real with it, right?
Yes,
We ain't
we
all
do.
about the glitz and glam. It's also about the real and the funky too. So if you can trust your mate in every other area, why you can't trust it when it comes down to them numbers and them bills?
Yeah.
So thank y'all for sharing that portion.
Yeah.
So would you recommend any other couples to do marriage coaching?
Oh, we already have.
Oh wow.
I think we've sent a couple your way already. I think by week 3,
Thank you.
we were. No, we've gone through like a marriage mentoring thing before. You know, when we've made a lot of attempts in our life and throughout our marriage, the walk in our marriage to really try to find what it was that we were missing. And I don't think nothing has impacted us the way that marriage evolves has. The way that you guys work with us, you know, like our marriage it'll never be the same. You know, what you guys do, and you guys do it so genuinely. We're so grateful.
Girl, I want you to mess
I'm
with me.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
To look back to where we started, to look to where we are now.
Yeah.
Complete 180.
Yeah.
Completely flipped us right side up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're not even done yet. We
And
still
we're not-
have,
and-
we
and
still have a
this
few
is just the
weeks.
beginning.
Yes. Yes.
This is just the beginning.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing that we make sure people understand is that it's just not a 10-week program that you do.
Right.
This is a life building of a relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
is not just drop you and drop it like it's hot and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You guys are a part of our family.
Yeah.
That's what we want people to believe, to understand, and to know.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that we met you guys. Now, how did you guys even find out about us?
We have some friends
Yeah.
that have walked through or gone through the Marriage Evolves classes.
Yeah.
And they spoke so highly of you guys
Wow.
and what you were doing and how you were impacting their marriage. And we were at a point where we were like, man, like, we want that, you know?
What's crazy is that we were in small groups for, I don't know, a few months, and I didn't even know
Yeah.
you guys did
Yeah.
this until that couple came up to us and was like, hey, you guys should try this out, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm glad we did, because it's been amazing.
Wow.
It's been real amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And, you know,
Yeah.
we appreciate that. And I tell people all the time, no matter how much, you know, you give us credit for, you know, help coaching you and bringing some things in, we give y'all the credit because y'all are the ones putting in the work.
Put in the work.
And our coaching, our, you know, referrals is only as good as how much you're willing to put the work in. You know, so we applaud you for putting the work in and allowing the process, allowing the steps to, you know, help you grow and be where you're at today. One last thing I just want to say is I love the fact that y'all saying it more now. I heard it today several times. Team Arcaina.
Teamwork,
That makes me
Yes,
smile on the
yes,
inside.
Yes.
Because sometimes we come in as two individuals,
Yeah.
but when we're going through it, and by the time hopefully we're done,
Yeah.
we're a team.
Yeah.
And we keep working as
Yeah.
a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Is there anything that you would want to share with our community, to a couple that's engaged or a couple that's married? Any advice that you would love to give?
I would say my biggest piece of advice for another couple is to put in the work, you know, and really understand that it does take a lot of work, and you do have to find a way to come together, because if you don't, you know, if you don't put in the work from the beginning or even as soon as you can, you don't want to wait, you know, until things start to get really tough and really hard, you know, to just really do it, you know, while you can, so that your marriage can be the best that it can be, because marriage really, God designed it to be this beautiful relationship. You know, it's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to thrive. You're supposed to reach other couples. There's so much beauty in marriage, you know, and it's just to see other couples experiencing that beauty and everything that it was intended to be. But it takes work for sure. Yeah.
Marriages are like a 3-braided cord. It's your wife, your husband, and God.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
As long as you have God
Yeah.
in the middle, you guys can get through anything.
Yeah.
Restoration's on that other side.
Yeah.
Breakthrough's there.
I believe
Preach,
that.
Ryan. Preach it.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Well, guys, we thank you so much for joining us. We thoroughly enjoy this time with you guys. And once again, if you haven't chosen to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, make sure you do it, because we're giving some vital information that any couple around this world can use, whether you're engaged, even if you're dating, and especially those that are already married. You don't have to be in a position where your relationship is at a bad place to get marriage coaching. You can do it just to stay refreshed. So at the end of every session, we always do, we're 2 hearts, 1 team with 1 purpose. Y'all gonna join in with us on that?
Oh, yeah.
I might mess it up, but I'll try.
Come on, girl. You can do it. You can do it. All right. So thank you so much once again. And we always say we are
2
hearts, 1 team with 1 purpose.